This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Watchlist and Market Report for the week ending December 12th, 2020. Our question this week is, what is the Federal Reserve? The answer will be provided later in the video. This week, the market was down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average increased 0.16% on Friday, but was down 0.57% for the week. The S&P 500 decreased 0.13% on Friday, but was down 0.97% for the week. The Nasdaq decreased 0.23% on Friday and was down 0.69% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 6 up finishes versus 10 down finishes for the week. On Monday and Thursday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 were down, but the Nasdaq was up. On Tuesday, all the major indices were up, and they were all down on Wednesday. And on Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished up, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished down. The new unemployment claims were 853,000 versus 730,000 expected. Continuing unemployment claims were 5.8 million. The House of Representatives voted to extend government funding for 1 week. The Senate leader Mitch McConnell rejected bipartisan COVID relief plans. An FDA panel recommended approval of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. And the Senate also voted to extend government funding for 1 week. New unemployment claims, continuing unemployment claims, House funding bills, COVID relief bill negotiations, FDA panel recommendations, and government funding extensions are all news. And news drives the market, good and bad. Day-to-day predictions on whether the market is going to go up or down is virtually impossible because predicting the news is impossible. However, the market is rigged to go up. It does not go up every day, but the market will generally go up over time. Stock prices move in a random fashion. They go up and down with an upward drift. The market will continue to go up because the powers that be want the market to go up. While there are many powers out there, the top powers that be is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the most powerful entity in the world, which brings us to our question of the week. What is the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve is simply the central bank of the United States. A central bank is a nation's bank, but a nation's bank is somewhat different from your bank. If you go to the Federal Reserve website, that's www.federalreserve.gov, you will find that they have 5 main purposes and functions, which are to conduct monetary policy, promote financial system stability, supervise and regulate financial institutions and activities, foster payment and settlement system safety and efficiency, and promote consumer protection and community development. What you will not find is this particular fact. The Federal Reserve is not federal. That is, it is not a part of the government. It is not a government department, and it is not a government agency. The Federal Reserve is independent from the federal government, but it is authorized by the government. That is, the government allows it to exist. It is actually a federally approved cartel of private banks. Yes, private banks like JP Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, etc. And the other fact that you are not going to find on the website is that the Federal Reserve does not actually have any money in reserve. The Federal Reserve is not federal, and it doesn't have any money in reserve. It does not save money. The Federal Reserve creates money. So it is true that money does not grow on trees. It is created at the Federal Reserve by making entries into a computer. But you, on the other hand, you have to work for money. You must exchange your time, use up your body and your mind for something that the Federal Reserve creates out of thin air by typing in numbers. The ability to create money out of nothing is power. It is power on an incredible scale. The Federal Reserve issues and controls America's money, which make it the most powerful entity on earth. Look at this quote. "Let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws." That's by one of the Rothschilds. The Federal Reserve's monetary policy affects the American and world economies, and of course it affects the U.S. stock market. They will do what they must to drive the market higher. So, do you own any stocks? If not, why not? Especially if you know the Federal Reserve is going to make the market go higher. But are you afraid that the market will fall? After all, the market did fall this week. However, it also reached all-time highs this past week as well. So I don't know which way the market is going to go, and I don't care. I trade the market as it is, not as it should be. I take what the market gives me, whether it's going up, down, or sideways. How do I do that? I apply the Southside strategy. You can learn more about the Southside trading strategy at southsideschooloffinancialfreedom.com. Here is my trading watch list from the week ending December 12, 2020. I trade at least 3 of the stocks on the list every week. The strongest performer on the list this week was Roku, ticker symbol ROKU. It's in the second column. It increased 11.64% for the week, and it was up 2.76% on Friday. Roku is a streaming device company. It is the leader in over-the-top streaming devices. Its stock has been on a tear this year. It is the 3rd time that it has been the highest performer on my list. You can see that Roku is up more than 147% year to date. I did not have a trade on Roku this past week, but I have traded it and generated cash flow from it in the past. Whether a stock goes up or down, you can generate cash flow from it. Whether you own a stock or not, you can still generate cash flow from using the Southside strategy. The Southside strategy involves trading for weekly cash flow, that is, trading for income. SPY is shown at the bottom of the 3rd column. SPY is the S&P 500 ETF. This is the benchmark I compare my trading performance to. My objective is to beat the S&P 500 index while at the same time generating cash flow. Most professional money managers do not consistently outperform the S&P 500 index. They usually lose, and they lose badly to the index. Thus, most investors and traders should just invest in or trade a market index fund or ETF like SPY. What do? Do you beat the S&P 500 index? Do you have a watch list? What is your investing and or trading strategy? How well do you do against the S&P 500 index ETF SPY? Let me know in the comments section. Are you willing to share your strategy, or is it a secret? As of December 12, 2020, my portfolio is outperforming the S&P 500 index ETF SPY. Year to date, my portfolio is up 25.14% versus 13.41% for SPY, a difference of 11.73%. I am beating SPY by 11.73%. This week, equities, including puts, calls, and ETFs, make up 52.03% of the portfolio. Cash is 47.97%. The cash flow generated for this week was 1.44% of the portfolio account value. The account value changed by minus 1.23%. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 ETF SPY changed by minus 0.98% this week. I sold option contracts on 5 positions this week, 2 calls and 3 puts that range from $173.37 to $777.33. You can get more details, including the total dollar amount of cash flow for the week, on the website southsideschooloffinancialfreedom.com. If you want to learn how to use the U.S. stock market to become financially free, then visit the Southsideschooloffinancialfreedom.com, where you can learn to increase your financial IQ. It is where I document in my commentary blog my efforts to remain financially free. Learn how to use your money to make money. When your money makes enough money to cover your monthly expenses every month, then you will be financially free. People who work for other people for money are wage slaves. People who operate a small business are workhorses. Trading and or investing frees you from being either. If you want a comprehensive understanding about business formations, companies and corporations, the stock market, the difference between investing and trading, learn about legendary stock market investors and traders, stock market theories, and a stock trading strategy that generates cash flow, then read the Southside School of Financial Freedom publication, Swimming in a Financial Ocean of Sharks and Whales: How a Small Fish Feeds Makes Money Off Wall Street by Melvin C. Dunia, available on lulu.com and amazon.com. Please like, share, subscribe. ADOS, ADOS.